Up bright and early, our group headed off to Bryce Canyon in hopes for another epic sunrise. And while the clouds didn't really cooperate with us on this day, it is just never a bad thing to watch the sunrise and the world wake up at such an epic location. After 2 long days of strenuous hiking, today was more of a down day. After sunrise, we went back to the hotel and did some post-processing work and some classroom work. Then after that, we went into town and picked up some cold water gear for those in the group that needed it. And as a group, we were able to get into Zion for sunset with the classic view of the Virgin River leading up to the Watchman as the last rays of sun fade for the day. Up again, several hours before sunrise, our group drove back into Zion National Park. Today we were going to hike this super popular hike called the Narrows. And it's because of this popularity, if you wish to avoid the insanely large crowds this hike draws, we recommend the earlier you start, the better. Now the Narrows hike is a very straightforward hike, out and back following the Virgin River. From the last shuttle stop, you simply take the Riverwalk Trail, which the first mile of this is actually just like a paved sidewalk and very easy for everyone to do. After that first mile, you're forced into the river. How much further you want to go depends on you and your comfort level. To see the breathtaking beauty that first mile or so has to offer, please stick around till the end. Obviously, arriving before sunrise, I didn't film anything on the way in as it was just way too dark. But on the way out, I did record it to try and capture its beauty, as well as show you just how crowded this hike can get, even on such a chilly November day. Everyone appreciates a professional taking their group photo in a place like this. Even as photographers, we prefer a high-end selfie rather than just holding a cell phone out.
Got it. Next stretch gets tight. We may want to put good photos. I called out the wall and go and shoot the current right across there.
Okay, so 2 little tips I want to give you here for this river walk that we're doing through the Narrows. I had mentioned how some members of our group had rented some cold water gear prior to going on this hike. And that is very easy to do. Right outside the main entrance in the town of Springdale are several outfitters where you can rent these packages from. These people are absolute experts on this hike and, depending on the season, have different packages of gear that you can rent. For this winter hike here, that consisted of extra thick neoprene socks, canyoneering boots, waders that went up over our waist, as well as the walking sticks you see several people using. This was a godsend. The water temperature was only 43 degrees the day that we were in there, so So to be standing for hours in that freezing cold water in nothing but wool socks and hiking boots, we would have been freezing our toes off. Now I'm 100% certain in warmer months you could easily get by with an old pair of hiking shoes or even just regular old sneakers that you don't mind getting wet and trashy. However, the canyoneering boots and the extra protection they provided was really a blessing, and my ankles were very thankful that I had them with me. And as far as the hiking sticks that many people use, you can use them or hiking poles, whatever you prefer, whatever you have, but they come in very handy as well because you are walking mile after mile on wet, slippery rocks. You will slip, you will trip, you may even fall. And having that extra pole or you being able to use your hands to steady yourself really comes in handy as well. Especially for us knuckleheads that are carrying thousands of dollars worth of camera gear through a river. Now, after you have the proper gear for your hike, the second tip really isn't a tip at all. It's a necessity. A necessity that you really need to pay attention to for any canyon hike in this area. And that is to check with the local authorities, the park department, or ranger, get the proper information for that day. These canyons will flash flood in an instant, and it doesn't even have to rain in your area. A thunderstorm 10 miles away can create a flash flood in the canyon you are in. So you need to be aware of the weather conditions such as, the water temperature we got from the rangers the day before, so we knew it was 43 degrees. Certain things like the levels of cyanobacteria that can be present in the water, and if this is present in the water, that water is not good for drinking at all. I don't care what kind of filtration system or life straw you have, you do not drink the water. So this is vital information that really could save your life, and you need to know all these things before you venture into any canyon.
That's okay. We know how to get out. I was recording in case you didn't. It's a good idea. Look, we actually do have faces.
seemed as with every step on the way back out, we saw more and more people until we got to here. This is the end of the paved Riverwalk trail where many people stop without going into the river. And this is the off-season, mid-November. Can't even imagine what it's like in the summertime. It was a relatively quiet walk for the final mile along the river. I know for myself, with the workshop and our time together coming to an end, my mind was deep in thought and reflection. I thought of the amazing places we'd been to, the sights that we've seen. I remembered the fears that I conquered and the challenges we faced. And more than anything, I remember the people that I got to spend these days with and share these memories with. Memories that I will surely carry with me for the rest of my days. After a final dinner together, we said our goodbyes, and it was then that I got back in my car and drove back into Zion. For the next 3 nights, I would be staying at the Zion Lodge. With nothing but the full moon's glow, this amazing sight greeted me from the lodge's parking lot. Thank you so much again for spending your time with me, and be sure to tune in again as the adventure continues.